Hi friends, it's Belinda here from BMakingJoy and welcome to my channel. This is episode 15 of What Brings Me Joy, where I come to you from my home in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and share with you my knitting projects so that you can hold me accountable for what I cast on. And I'll give you some sneak peeks at some of the things that I'm designing, and I'll tell you a little bit about my life. If you are new here, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, I am so glad to have you back. I am recording this on Wednesday, August the 30th, so happy Whip Wednesday. Although it will be probably after midnight before you get to see it, so editing and uploading and all that takes time. So it's a great day here in Calgary. I don't know if my lighting is very good today. We're expecting thunder showers later on. We've been having pretty iffy weather, a lot of smoky days. I think we've become accustomed to the smell. I haven't smelled it anymore, but my lungs still feel pretty heavy from it. So looking forward to some rain. So where am I at with my knitting? We ended last episode with a whip count of 13 projects on the needles. 8 of them I haven't touched since that episode, so we can call them UFOs. I have not finished anything. I have not cast on anything new, but I have made progress on 5 projects that I will tell you about. I also do not have any acquisitions this time to share, so that's different. That shows some pretty good restraint on my part, I think. Well, what am I wearing? It's an old project, another one of the BMakingJoy Kit of the Month clubs. So I don't have a pattern name or a designer to tell you about the Kit of the Month club. It could be the Annie's Kit of the Month club too. I was in both of them at one time or another. BMakingJoy is a Canadian mail order company, and Annie's was an American mail order company. And yeah, I've used both Kit of the Month clubs at one point or another, so I'm not entirely sure which one this came from. Anyway, let's start with my Ranunculus, since that's what we talked about first last episode. This pattern is by Midori Hirose, and it's very popular. I'm sure many of you are familiar with it, and I've been talking about it since episode 11. I'm using Lion Brand Pound of Love in the discontinued colorway lavender, blah, blah, blah. You've heard it all before. So I finished the sleeve, almost, but I'm going to change it. The sleeve, her pattern ends in a, what she calls a diamond cuff, which is short row shaping, so that I don't know if I can show you this properly. It's short row shaping, so it kind of curves, which I don't think I like for the full length sleeve. If I ended at the elbow, that little curve would have been nice. It would have really helped the fit. But I don't think I want it on this. What it is, it's short row shaping. I think I told you that. And it's German short rows, and my German short rows are a little messy. I don't like German short rows in the round. I had the same problem with the Love Note sweater, trying to do the German short rows in the round on the bottom of the body. I switched to Japanese short rows on that one, which I could do here, but I think instead I'm going to just skip that portion. I mean, it is optional. Anything's optional. It's your own project. You can change what you like, I guess. So I'm going to pull it back, take out that short row shaping, and then redo this I-cord bind off. This is new for me. I mean, I've done I-cord bind offs before. I've done them on a straight edge, not in the round. And I've done 3-stitch bind offs. This one is a 5-stitch bind off, which I thought would be chunky, but it's really not. It's really looked quite nice. Doesn't match the body, though. It was ribbing on the bottom, ribbing on the neck. This is the first sweater I've done with a different finishing for the cuff. but I think I'm going to like it. I understand why the I-cord bind off was not done for the waist, because in my opinion, for me, for my body, it's not stretchy enough for a waistband, but it'll be fine for the cuff. I think it looks nice. So yeah, I need to pull back, take out those short rows, finish off the cuff, get the other sleeve started, and put it back in my nighttime knitting pile. Is there anything else I need to tell you about this? I'll tell you more full details when the entire project is finished, because if you remember, we were comparing it to the Love Note sweater that I made in the same yarn. So I hope it's done next episode. The next project I'm going to show you real quick is this cloak that I am designing for my daughter from the July Pokemon themed yarn calendar that we bought from Fangirl Fibers. So I told you last episode about why I frogged and started over. Now I've gotten a few stripes further along. It's been slow going. It's mindless stockinette knitting. And it's not a project I can take on the go with me. It's not one that I can do inconspicuously during meetings. It's a bit of a distraction because I got it on this 50-inch long cable, and hiking it around has been a lot. So it's been slow going. But I keep it on this cable so that my daughter, she loves to come along and put it over her shoulders and admire it. So don't expect this one to be finished anytime soon. But I'm sure she'll keep me working on it. Oops. So like I said, it's a cloak. And it's going to have a hood, which I haven't bought the yarn yet for the hood. So the Pokemon themed yarn calendar was a 31-day surprise package. Throughout the month of July, we were opening one every day. So this will have 31 different color stripes in it. Plus whatever we decide to do for a trim across the bottom to stop that stockinette from rolling, and a button band, and a hood. What's that? Oh, did I tell you that's fingering weight wool, a wool nylon blend? I'm using 2.75 millimeter needles. I'm up over 400 stitches per row. So yeah, it's going to be slow going. But I'm loving it. Now the next project I want to show you is the, what do you call it? Test knit that I'm doing for Hannah Schreier of Keylori Knits. I have permission to share the project. The test deadline is September 16th. I don't know what her timeline is for when the pattern will be published, but she calls this the budget tie top because the yarn that she designed it with, Drop Spell, is very budget friendly if you live in an area where you can get it. I'm using yarn from my stash. I'm using Lion Brand Kobu in the color olive, for which I got the same gauge. I'm now at the point where she says to split for the armholes. It's bottom up, obviously. But I think I'm going to go longer. Her version is a crop top, but I think because of my belly and because any environment that I would be in where I would wear this, a crop top would be too casual for. So I'm going to lengthen it. So I need to get it onto a cord, try it on, decide how many more repeats I want to do. Of course, that's going to take more yarn. I hope I have enough. I think I do. If not, I can do the straps. It's I-cord tie straps on the shoulders. I could do the straps in a different color. I've got some pinks, some gray, some beige. Nah, not the beige, but anyway. But I hope I have enough to do it all in this. My only regret is that the yarn I chose is splitty, which causes problems with the cables, especially when you make mistakes and need to redo them. Which I've been fixing my mistakes as soon as I find them. But then there's this one where I forgot to cross the cables and didn't discover it until I was a full repeat above it. And then there's this little messiness down here where I split the yarn and didn't notice. But I chose not to go back and fix it because I would have made more mess going back, I think. But is anybody going to notice that while I wear it? Probably not. I don't know which part of the body that will land on. Hopefully on the side. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's still going to be beautiful. So I think last episode I had only done the first repeat. So I think I've made some really good progress. And it does have a deadline, so I'm going to really make this a priority now, this next week. And yeah. It's worth the effort. I'm liking it. Now, project number 4 is the Staycation Shawl Knit Along. This pattern is designed by Caroline Summerfield of Ancient Arts Yarns, and a lot of her customers are participating in this knit along right now with a Facebook page where we're sharing pictures and encouraging each other, and it's a lot of fun. My yarn is from Ancient Arts. It's sock natal, a wool nylon blend. My main color is Irish linen, and my color pops are purple sequins, glimpses of Notre Dame, amethyst, midnight clear, and boldly go. And then back to the purple sequences again, back to the Notre Dame in this pattern. This section is called the Italian Garden section. I think let me quote Caroline's words to you. Where is it? This shawl takes the knitter on a walk through her garden with its paved patios and gravel paths, raised beds with late blooming tulips, the tulips come later on, and a mix of formal flower beds and wildflower areas. So I'm at the Italian Garden section. I have just a couple more rows of that to do, and then I'm back to this cobblestone, I guess, paved path, garden path, which I have memorized. So then mine is knitting again. So I just need to finish off those last couple of rows and put it in my bag, and it's ready for the next knit group. And oh, I'm going to weave in ends today. Look at all the ends I'm leaving behind. I'm going to weave them in today because I've decided that the last Wednesday of every month is going to be my Weave It In Wednesday. So I've got a few ends in this project to weave in as well. Lots of ends on that Pokémon Cloak. So yeah. Weave it in Wednesday, every last Wednesday of the month. That's my goal, to keep up with things. Now, get these out of the way. Clean that up after. And the other project, the only other one that I've spent time on this past 2 weeks, is my Elana Sea Foam Skirt. It has been my main mindless knitting project, my meeting knitting, my on-the-go knitting, And my test knitters are coming along too. If this is your first time seeing this, it goes this way, top down, bottom, waist down. This is my design. I made it to complement the Elana Sea Foam top that I released in early July. I made one for my daughter while I wrote the pattern, so I'll insert a picture here. The pattern has now been tech edited and is being test knit. I aim to have it published in Ravelry and Etsy in the later half of October. It uses DK weight yarn, US 6 4mm needles, or whatever size you get gauge with. And I'm now making this one for myself in Nettle Soft DK from Ancient Arts Yarns. It's a blend of 68% superwash merino and 32% nettle. And nettle, this yarn has a temperature regulating property. I found the top, that's not here, the top that I made in the same yarn was very comfortable to wear this summer. I believe last episode I had only just finished the waistband. So now I'm at, mine was stockinette, now I'm at like 6 inches. My goal is to have this one done by October the 16th, the same time as my test knitters are going to be done. So, I'm dropping stitches off the needles every time I show something. Okay, I have to put my glasses on and get those back on the needle. So, I'm going with my husband on a business trip leaving September 10th. So I will take probably the skirt, at least one of the big, large projects with me. But I'm going to need to cast on a small project for the airplane. Probably a plain vanilla sock. Remember that I was planning to do socks this summer. I wanted to try some toe-up socks to test different heels and toes for my daughter's sensitivities. So I'm going to get a toe cast on before we leave, so it's ready for the plane. Plus, at least one of these larger projects will go with me. We're gone for 5 days. Probably the skirt, because I can get a lot done on it, but I might get bored of the stockinette knitting until I get to the bottom trim where it's seafoam stitch. That part's fun. Yeah. We're going to Washington, D.C. I've never been there before. I haven't checked yet whether there's any yarn stores. But if I find one, I'll go. Not that I need more yarn, but I can get souvenir yarn, right? The Stephen West Mystery Knit Along details should be out probably this week. They're usually the first week of September that he releases the details of what kind of yarn you need for the project. So I'm going to go through my yarns when that comes out and decide what to use, decide if I need any complementary colors to go with them, and I think I'll take a sample of my choices and match something up. Actually, yeah. Anyway, so looking at the calendar, I can see that my next episode will have to be in 3 weeks because we're away. But I should have 2 or 3 finished objects by then. And maybe in October, while I'm doing Stephen West's Mystery Knit Along, I'll maybe do a short episode every week to show that progress. There's something wrong with my makeup. Looking at myself. Don't look at yourself. Look at the camera. Anyway, assuming I can keep up with Stephen West, he apparently goes at a pretty fast pace making a shawl in a month, but I'm up for the challenge. I'm gonna clear everything else off the plate or put it on hold or whatever, and October we're doing that shawl. Anyway, until next time, please like, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. Thank you for joining me. Happy knitting, happy sewing, happy traveling, happy drawing, whatever it is that you like to do, go find some joy.